You cursed brat! Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness? Ah, look out! Look out! I'm going! Oh,
What's up, guys? It's Benny. There's a reason why the scoreboard chant works at sporting events, if you're winning, is because the numbers don't lie, and there were zero, count them, zero criminal aliens released into the United States for the third month in a row. Not in your lifetime or mine has that ever been the case. We're talking negative net migration now. The Trump effect breaks yet another historic record in the month of July. Border Patrol. Zero releases across our border. Zero, the lowest number ever recorded. And ladies and gentlemen, it's starting to have a profound effect. Even CNN is calling President Trump the single most consequential and important and dynamic president in our lifetime. Those are their words, not mine. This is a remarkable segment from Harry Enton, who I have long said is my favorite CNN correspondent or data analysis. And he's someone who says, love it, like it, or lump it, Trump is the most influential president this century. Let's begin with Harry Enton breaking down how successful President Trump's tariffs have been for the country.
All right, Brian Todd, appreciate it. This week, the White House also revealed a new trade policy to start August 7th for every country around the world, solidifying his break with America's longstanding free trade policy. CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton joins us now to run the numbers. Good to see you. So a lot of folks have claimed Trump always chickens out, taco, when it comes to tariffs. Is that true?
No, I don't think that's true, Omar. And I think the theme of this segment is going to be love it, like it, lump it. Trump's remaking the United States of America. We can start there with tariffs. What are we talking about? No tacos for Trump. The effective tariff rate, get this, 18%. It is the highest, Omar, the highest since the 1930s, up from, get this, just 2% last year. As I'm going to talk about in this segment, I can't think of a more influential president during this century, and it starts here with tariffs. He said he was going to raise tariffs, and despite the claims otherwise, he is in fact doing that. The effective tariff rate at this point looks to be 9 times as high as it was last year, the highest since the 1930s and FDR, Omar.
The tariff rate is way up and the highest in nearly a century. The tariff numbers now have been remarkable. Net migration is way down and maybe negative for the first time in 50 years. This will get MAGA cheering. Let's go.
Tariffs, though, aren't the only way Trump's remaking policy in America, right?
It is not the only way that Trump is remaking America. What are we talking about? Well, let's jump. The other big thing that Trump ran on, right, was immigration. How about net migration in the United States? Get this. It's down. It's going to be down at least 60%. We may be dealing with, get this, negative net migration to the United States in 2025. That would be the first time there is negative net migration in this country in at least 50 years. We're talking about down from 2.8 million in 2024. So Donald Trump has always run on tariffs, and he's run on a hawkish line on immigration. And on both of those issues, we are seeing record high tariff rates for this century going all the way back, well back into the early part of the 20th century. And when it comes to immigration, net migration, we are seeing record low levels, way down from where we were during the Biden administration. We are potentially looking at negative net migration for the first time in at least 50 years. And that is a big reason why that I'm saying that Trump, at least in my mind, is the most influential president, certainly this century, and probably dating a good back chunk into the 20th century as well, Omar.
And the White House is actually sharing the net migration clip. They love this one. That would be the first time that there was net migration to the country in the last 50 years. We're talking down 2.8 million in 2024. Promises made, promises kept. Stephen Miller, the architect of this policy, doing a touchdown dance here, scoreboard, during the last period in which America was the undisputed global superpower financially, culturally, militarily. Migration was net negative. All population growth came from family formation. Yes, that is a deep and abiding positive. We may be dealing with the first time net migration to the United States. First time in 50 years. This is what America voted for. Let's keep it up. America's full. Thank you very much. And we certainly don't need any third world criminal aliens. We may be dealing with net migration. This is the clip that is, of course, breaking the internet. Trump is remaking the USA. CNN, Donald Trump administration is the most influential in the last century, probably dating back to a good portion of the last century. This year, we're talking about net migration. Harry Enton back at it, talking about how President Trump has remade the country with executive orders. The executive order saying that he signed more executive orders than FDR. Here we go.
When you say most influential, I mean, statistically, how much is Trump doing?
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about this. How about executive orders? Already, 180 executive orders signed by Donald Trump this year. You have to go all the way back to the FDR administration once again to find a year in which there were as many executive orders signed as we have this year. To give you an idea, Biden during his first year signed 77. That's the entire year. We're only a little bit more than halfway through this year, Omar. Again, this is why I'm saying executive orders, immigration with net migration, and we're talking about tariffs and the effective tariff rate. Donald Trump is remaking the United States. Love it, like it, or lump it. He has been tremendously influential to a historic degree, Omar.
All right, 180 executive orders. One of them, though, let's talk about one of them, because it was bringing back the presidential fitness tests. As I understand, you tried it out. I don't know if you did it as a kid, but you tried it out again. How did you do now at this advanced age?
Yeah, okay, at this advanced age, but I will note, here we are, me on the screen. I was doing the sit-ups. Look at that. I will
say. That's not sped up at all. That's real time.
No, that is real time. That is real time. Here I am. I'm doing the running on the treadmill. That is actually real time. We also have me. I tried. Look at this. I was trying to test how flexible.
Kicks. What are those, bro?
Here, I'm wearing them right now.
There you go.
The same exact ones. The same ones to work out. I was able to beat the median 6-year-old male on 4 of the 5 tests. Most shockingly, I was able to do the push-ups. And then finally, I will note on the shuttle run, I was able. Yeah, I love the shuttle run. I was doing it with Diet Cokes, picking it up back and forth. I was able to do pretty gosh darn well. I meet the median 6-year-old male on 4 on the 5 tests.
Everybody across the internet is cheering for the net negative migration number, U.S. net migration by year. You can see here, of course, the skyrocket. Net migration to the U.S. may be negative for the first time in 50 years. Foreign-born workers have dropped by over 1 million, reversing a record surge. Foreign-born workers have lost 1.5 million jobs. There have been 1.8 million native-born worker jobs in this country. And that's been a thing of beauty. Harry Enton has been on a rampage. Data scoreboard. Just look at the data, right? I don't know how the guy votes. I have to assume he lives in New York, right? He works for CNN. I have to assume he's a leftist, but whatever. Saying that Kamala Harris only claims she doesn't want to return to politics because her polling is absolutely brutal. The bottom line is that she is looking at the numbers and she knows what's cooking. He also talking about the numbers for the Democrat Party, saying that the Democrat Party is in the garbage, messier than a hoarder's basement. Okay. CNN segment, absolutely devastating. The record lows in favorability for the Democrat Party. Here we go.
Dems, and let's look at their net favorable ratings. Whoa, woof. I mean, my God, we mentioned CNN. We had that poll come out a little while ago on their net favorable rating. They were 26 points underwater. You think that's low enough? How about we go even lower? We'll go to this side of the screen. I'm going to walk over here. We go to the Wall Street Journal, minus 30 points underwater. Their lowest on record. These polls have records going all the way back since the early 1990s. And when it comes to the Democratic Party's net favorable rating in both the Wall Street Journal poll and the CNN poll, the Democratic Party is breaking records in the way, Jessica Dean, you don't.
I'll end with this. Harry Enton talking about if you're a Democrat thinking about running in 2028, jump right in because at this point, there's no front runner. The Democrat brand is in the basement, complete and total garbage. Numbers don't lie. That's your encouragement. Start your week out. CNN getting red pilled. There you go.
Democrats at this point are historically divided. It is a complete and utter mess. It is messier than a hoarder's basement. What are we talking about here? The national early poll leader, 25% plus. Normally, that's where Democrats are. Biden was at 25% plus in 2020. Hillary Clinton was in 08 and 16. Gore was in 00 and 04. At this particular point, there is no one in the Democratic race for president who's polling at 25% plus. The water is quite warm. If you're a Democrat potentially thinking about running in 2028, jump right in, because at this point, there is no front runner.
What do you think? Is that because how people view the Democratic Party right now, is that contributing to this?
Yeah, I think that is in large part of what's going on, is one of the reasons why there is no front runner. Nobody wants to put anybody up at the top of their ballot list, is because at this particular point, the Democratic brand is in the basement. It is total and complete garbage in the mind of the American public. The Democratic Party's net favorable rating, record lows in all three. Wall Street Journal, 30 points underwater. CNN, 26 points underwater. Gallup, 26 points underwater. And that is being driven in large part by discontent within the Democratic base. The Democratic base wants something different. We'll ultimately end up seeing who they choose. It'll be quite the thing who ultimately gets the rose.
Yes, sir.